So good morning, everybody. It's a real pleasure to be here today. And over the next couple of minutes, I'm going to share with you our transformational journey, okay? And my hope is that the aspects of the journey will resonate with you and maybe where you are. Are you a prospect looking to invest in ServiceMax? Maybe you're a customer and trying to figure out how you should do your configuration. Do you need to roll it out globally? What do you do with Asia, which is a difficult area to do implementations in? Do you have third-party engineers that are part of it? Or do you need to get your project approved in a very large company? So I'm going to go through very, very quickly a bunch of slides of how we've did a project, where are we with things, and then, to me, it's all about you. So for the rest of the day, I will be here. There's some other colleagues of mine from Merck Millipore that are here, and we'd be more than happy to share with you some of our lessons learned in our project and answer some questions, okay? And then really start to kind of get the community going. Okay, so like Dave said, we are the oldest pharmaceutical company in the world. If you do your math, you can see we have a big birthday coming up in the year of 2018, 350 years old. And we have about 40,000 employees. We just bought another company about a week ago, so pretty soon this is going to be going up to by another 9,000 employees. And you can see that we're up there in the 11.1 billion euros. If you want to do your math quickly, that's about $14 billion. Like BD, it's interesting, the two companies up here, it's all about living a better life. That's what we do, okay? And the way that we do that is we have 4 major divisions that are part of our company. You'll actually see one of them is actually on the floor here today, Merck Serono, and they're looking to launch a new part of the drug for multiple sclerosis. Then we also have consumer healthcare, so pregnancy test kits and things like that are also part of our company. The pharmaceutical part of our company, Merck Serono, is about 40% of our company. And then we have another group called performance materials. And as I kind of look at these slides, I think, how does a big screen TV help you have a healthy, happier life? Not if you were watching the Patriots game last night, for sure. So the division that I'm going to focus on is Merck Millipore. Millipore was a company about 54 years old. 5 years ago, we were acquired by Merck. We are a life science company. And we have the privilege of being the world leader in the purification analysis of laboratory water. And this is where our service business is. And the really cool thing about our field service business is it really helps Merck Millipore do total solution selling. And by that we mean we go out there, we're working with our customers, we have a customer intimacy model that we really, really thrive on. But it's not just about that initial sale. We're there with partners with the customer, and we want to be able to service the equipment. And the cool thing is that the service engineer is the one that gets into the labs. A lot of times the salespeople, you get stopped at the purchasing agent, right? But the service person gets into the lab and can see the competitor equipment that might be out there and can really, because we use Salesforce.com also, create leads for our sales organization. So all of these things head for our go-to-market strategy. And we use field service as the driver to drive our revenue. It's extremely profitable for us, and we are market leaders. Okay, with that being said, when you're on top and you're a leader, how do you stay on top? You got to keep moving, keep looking down the road. So when we started to take a look at this decade and where are we with field service, we knew we had some changes to make in order to stay very, very profitable and to stay as a leader. And so our drivers were really, of course, revenue and profitability, but also constantly looking to improve the customer experience. And then it's very important for us to drive global alignment and visibility to information. We place an extreme value on information and being able to then leverage that with analytics. So where we were around circa 2012 is we had a patchwork of service systems. I think you probably all know the challenge of a legacy service system, right? We had this thing that was built 16 years ago. Everybody loved it, okay? but it wouldn't scale anymore. As we bought new businesses, it just wouldn't work for us anymore. It was an old Lotus Notes application, if any of you kind of know that type of thing. So we were looking for a new system to really help us with our double-digit growth. We're lucky enough to have double-digit growth, but it's not just about the tool. We knew that we needed to have harmonized business practices around the world. So obviously we picked ServiceMax, otherwise I wouldn't be standing here today. And I always loved this little thing with all the Venn diagrams because to me, integration is absolutely critical. We don't want islands of information. So of course we are actually our Salesforce.com users from 2005, so we're early adopters, right? We wanted a tool that was going to be integrated totally and give us that full CRM picture. But it's not just about the tool. We were looking for partners that were going to be innovative, that would keep us moving forward. And I think, as you saw today, I'm really excited about some of the mobile technology that now we'll be able to roll out to our corporation because now we have this great foundation. So if you're a prospect and you're thinking about things, come see us because we had to do a bake-off against ServiceMax, against SAP, because SAP is what Merck uses, and ServiceMax won, which in a large company, that was kind of tough to do, okay? So we went and we set our project up. Just about 2 years ago this month, we started our project, okay? And here's what our scope was. We were going to implement all of those pieces of functionality that's just part of normal ServiceMax. Very important to us, we needed to build connections to our ERP systems. Not only our SAP system, but our Oracle ERP system. So we got the challenge of building things twice. We kind of said, okay, I think we got about 700 users worldwide. Very important, we wanted to roll out to our sales organization because of that whole point that I was making to you about leads and turning over the leads to the salespeople. And of course, we have distributors and we have third-party engineers and we have customers and we wanted them to use the system. And then I don't know if any IT people in this room, but sometimes, you know, you put a new system in and you never can get rid of those old systems, right? And so very important up in front of everybody was the old systems are going away when you go on to ServiceMax. So where are we? Well, we've been busy. We actually have been deploying in 30 countries around the world. I think that we might actually be the first ServiceMax deployment in Japan. I'm not sure about that one, but Japan goes live for us on Monday. So here I stand with 21 days left before the end of our project, and we still have 9 countries that are going. So we have Japan going on Monday, we have Singapore going on Tuesday, Australia the week after, and Malaysia. And then we're going to wrap it all up with Central Eastern Europe and Russia on the 21st of October. And then we're going to have a big celebration. But it's been a busy, busy time. And as you can see, the geographies there, you know, North America, yes, was our first implementation. Then we decided, okay, let's just go to Europe on January 1st and launch all those countries. But quite honestly, deploying in Asia and managing the clock and working with the teams over there has been very, very interesting experience. We're blessed that we have wonderful people over in that part of the world. I think one of the things that I'm most proud of for our implementation is that everybody around the world uses the same page layouts. So we implement in Japan, and it's in kanji, but it is the exact same page layout that North America is using or that Brazil is using. And this is absolutely critical because if you start to have all kinds of different templates for your countries, it will be a nightmare to support, and especially as you try to roll out mobile technology. The other really cool thing that I think is that we have devices that sell for $1,000. And we have instruments that go for $500,000 that have all kinds of configurations of lasers and PCs in them. And the same processes apply across the board. So we have been just so lucky that our population of our business users were able to understand the greater good of common systems. and everybody using the same tool, because that really helps us with our whole information flow. So we have 1,100 users. And while I might stand here and say, you think, okay, it's the service engineer, the service manager, but not really. When you really start to get into it, you have contracts administration people, you have logistics people getting the parts out to people. We have customer service because of the interfaces with our ERP systems. We have quality users because if we have a repair that's done and it's under warranty, we have to feed into our quality systems. We have repair centers, and we have third-party engineers. All of that adds up to 1,100 people. The folks from ServiceMax have been just fantastic at helping us educate all of these people and teaching us how to be able to teach them going forward. So a lot of credit goes way back to that whole point I made about we were looking for a partner when we selected ServiceMax, and we got a great partner. So now where are we? I always like this quote from Churchill, and certainly it's not the beginning of the end, but it's the end of the beginning for us. Now I look at it as we've just spent 24 months and we have been in implementation mode, configuration mode, teaching mode, helping mode, shutdown mode on legacy systems. And now where we are is truly unleashing the power of a tightly integrated global field service system. There's not a whole lot of companies in the world that can say that at this point in time. And we happen to be standing there with that. So now what's next for us? Well, to me, I kind of always have to have some sort of little set of phrases to kind of get everybody excited. And so I think that there's 3 aspects that we're doing right now. We're optimizing, we're inspiring, and we're leveraging. So what do I mean by that part of our journey? Well, optimizing. Sometimes when you're running a project, you really can't do everything all at once in the first phase of the project. Sometimes greed will cause you to be unsuccessful. And so there had to be trade-offs sometimes. Like, for instance, we didn't get to deploy the mobile part of ServiceMax for a number of reasons. There wasn't every single process. We couldn't streamline every single process when we were first rolling it out. And so we have some things that we want to do now as we look at 2015 that will really help us use the system better, optimizing it. But then I think also important is to come to things like this and get inspired. And not only just inspire a couple of the people that were on the core project team, but to inspire the corporation, the salespeople, the marketing people, all these people that can come with better ideas of what we should be doing for the future. So that's kind of where we see the inspiration people getting out, talking to other customers, coming to shows like this, leveraging our ServiceMax partners, of which you'll meet at some of the sessions this afternoon, and helping to inspire us and look beyond what we have right now. And then leverage. The install base is the heart of our system. We are so fortunate because we know where 250,000 instruments are around the world. We know what's under warranty, what's under contract, how often it's been serviced. If you want to walk into a customer site and sell them another $200,000 piece of equipment, you better really know about the history of what's gone on for that customer before. So when I say exploit the install base, what we're going to use that for is upselling. When we have new products that are coming out, we can say, hey, you've had this product for 9 years already. It's been good. It's served you well. It's time for something else. In our install base, we are able to track use of consumables. So it's the razor blades, right? We know when our consumables are going to start plugging up, the filters. So we can be very proactive and integrated system. Our engineers can look at it and say, hey, consumables need to be changed out, integrated in with our quoting opportunity system, turns around, creates the work order to go out for the engineer to go out there and change the consumables. Of course, double-digit growth, we want to continue with that. And then, obviously, it's all about our customer and make sure that what we're doing, everything possible for our customers to remain very, very high in the loyalty program with us. And that's our transformational journey.